My friends all disappeared, and I think I'm next. Inspired by my story animated. Hi, my name is Kala, and today I am going to tell you about the time when my friends and I went to an island which very few people knew. I hope you're not going to be creeped out by my story. As I said, we went to an island. There were 7 of us, including me. There were Adeline, Della, Vespera, Vika, Amy, Sylvanie, and me. On the day before we went, we were busy packing all the supplies we needed. We met and got on a ferry together. When we got to the island, cabins could be seen on one side and a forest could be seen on the other side. There was also a sign near the forest which said "Forbidden." As there was no electricity in the cabins to charge our phones, we didn't care about the forest much and went taking pictures by the sea. We all had a great time until it was dark and we needed to go back to the cabin. Next morning, the 7 of us were all woken up by the sound of thunder.
I thought the weather forecast said it won't be raining this week,
said Adeline, frustrated. Maybe this is just an unexpected cloud, I said. When the rain finally stopped, it was already dark outside. Should we make a fire outside and sit around it? Suggested Amy. We all agreed and went out to make a fire as Amy suggested. We mostly talked about cute boys, but then our conversation shifted to what might be on the other side of the island. I wonder what's behind the forest, said Vespera. Let's explore it, said Vika excitedly. Who wants to go with me? None of us raised our hands as we were all scared of what we are going to meet behind that forest, especially me. But then Amy said calmly, I'll come with you. We met outside the cabin the next morning, just as we had planned. Vika and Amy were a bit shaky. We said goodbye, and just as they were about to leave, they told us, We'll be back in 4 to 5 hours. The rest of us went back into the cabin, and I said, I thought they were joking about going.
Me too,
said Adeline. That day, we didn't have much to do, so we just played around on the beach. 5 hours passed, but Vika and Amy were still not back. It was getting dark, and yet they're still not back yet. We were all worried. Suddenly, Vespera said, We need to go there and save them. Who knows what they are facing now? We can't. It's too dangerous, and it's dark outside, said Sylvanie gently. What do you mean we can't? They are our friends, shouted Vespera. She was starting to cry. Let's don't start a fight, I said loudly. And Sylvanie's right. It's too dark now, and we don't know where to go. Let's just get some sleep now and start fighting as soon as the sun rises. Finally, no one argued. The next day, we found Vespera missing. She was nowhere to be seen. We were all very worried. We all reassured each other that Vespera had just started the search without us. We started our journey to the forest almost immediately. When we were surrounded by trees, we were really scared. After a few minutes that seemed like hours, Della said,
Maybe we should go back. It's a little bit spooky here.
I gulped and was about to turn around to tell Della that we couldn't give up then. Sylvanie suddenly shouted, Kala! They're gone! I turned around and found both Adeline and Della gone. Sylvanie and I shouted their names over and over until we couldn't shout anymore. 5 of our friends were gone now. We'd better head back to the cabin, I told Sylvanie. She nodded and we ran as fast as we could back to our cabin. Both Sylvanie and I were out of breath by the time we got back to the cabin. I locked the door behind us, and we sat on the couch, shivering with fright. When we thought that we were safe, Sylvie said while sobbing uncontrollably, They, they are going to be all right, right? I didn't know what to tell her. Yes or no. Sylvanie and I were both so tired, so I said after a big yawn, Oh, let's just sleep on the couch. When we settled onto a couch each, we fell asleep immediately. I woke up the next morning and Sylvie was gone. I told myself that she was just going to the bathroom, but of course, I knew that it wasn't true. I still checked the cabin, but I was all alone. I was terribly scared because I knew I was going to disappear any second. That day, I ran into the forest again, alone this time, and climbed to the top of a tree to see if I could see anything from that angle. But nothing. I started climbing down again, and just as I reached the bottom, my phone vibrated to show the low power sign. This startled me badly, and I fell to the ground and just fell unconscious. When I woke up, all six of my friends were there. I was both relieved and frustrated. I sat up at a comfortable position and shouted, What is happening? You all disappeared one by one and left me alone. Now you all appear in front of my eyes. Will someone just explain what's going on? I'm really confused. We're sorry, Kala. We just thought we would, do a silly prank just for fun, said Fika. Then Amy started explaining that we were on the other side of the island. The place that we were all in was actually a private luxury owned by three beautiful and handsome brothers whom no one knew about, and they had wanted it that way. Vika and I wanted to bring you all here instantly, but we thought we would, have some fun and do a prank, and we chose you by lottery. Amy ended. I was so mad, but that place was amazing, and I usually prank them all the time, but, not this big. So I decided to let it go and have some fun. The end. Hello, everyone. My name is Karina, and my best friend is Efo. Today, I'm going to tell you about Efo and I making our dream come true. Our moms are best friends themselves, so they practice feeding and changing nappies for us together. They even planned to have Efo and me born on the same day. Sadly, Efo was a little bit too late, but it didn't matter much. When Efo and I were infants, our moms dressed us in the same clothes, and they kept doing that. Efo and I are high school students now, and we're still dressed the same. People people always look at us with an annoyed look on their face, but we didn't care just as long as we liked it. Then one day, we had a crazy idea. We planned to have plastic surgery after our 18th birthday to, look more alike. Since I'm prettier than Efro, I won't need much surgery. We told our parents about it and they freaked out, saying that it was a bad idea, telling us that we would regret it and blaming themselves for dressing us alike when we were little. But they didn't understand. We just, you know, wanted to look right, right?
Right.
But lucky for us, we were given a nice amount of money for our 18th birthdays, so we used that to pay for the surgery. We decided to change our noses and make them smaller, and then Effa would change the shape of her jaw to make it more like mine. The plastic surgeon kept trying to tell us it wasn't a good idea and was not normal to want to look exactly like someone else, but we persisted and he had no choice but to do it. Efro and I were both excited and nervous. Afterwards, we both lay down in our beds, our faces completely covered in bandages. When we finally got out of the hospital a few days later, we were so excited. We put on our favorite matching dresses and went home to show our parents. My mom immediately burst into tears when she saw my nose. She thought that I was too ugly, and she kept telling me I made the wrong decision, and Ethel's mom almost fainted. I guess we both looked a bit, freaky at first, but that's because we were fresh out of surgery. Back in our high school, we heard people calling us freaks, but we were so happy we didn't care. Our childhood dream of being twins had finally came true. At home, we even planned to have the same boyfriend and marry him. Our parents were upset and thought we were crazy, but really, it would be really cool if we could, have the same surname too. Wish us luck. The end.